How are we doing, folks? Welcome back to the Nightmare Cabin. I've got an album review for you, and yeah, bit of a departure for this channel. But believe it or not, this is one of my all-time favourite bands. My favourite band, at least, outside of rock and metal. But yeah, this is the long-awaited new album from local boys who did well, Depeche Mode, and this is Memento Mori. Well, where to start, really? I think this is a breath of fresh air. Actually, it's the last couple of albums have left a bit to be desired, if I'm honest. Um, yeah, if I go through them now, I mean, Delta Machine, and I've got them up. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I found these to be a bit autopilot. I mean, the artwork, it all just kind of melds together. It looks like a tour program. I like a couple of songs here and there, but yeah, Soft Touch was good. Soothe My Soul. Oh, I like Slow as well, but these are songs that are quite late in the album, and by the time they come along, it didn't really do much to rescue it in my eyes. And Spirit. Do you know what? I couldn't even tell you a song off that. Where's the Revolution? Yeah, but no, I've completely forgotten that album, which is a shame because considering I just said that it's my favourite band, but yeah, I've up until Depeche Mode have always moved forward. Every album has been a step forward, an evolution in their sound and their songwriting. And this is actually the first album where I felt it reminded me of some past eras, and some parts of it actually reminded me of the first album. But we'll get into that with the when we get into the songs. Really, we're obviously you've got the Andrew Fletcher passing away. That that is, I think that could, apparently these songs were written before that, but that can't have not affected the recording process, and I think it would have given a new spin to certain lyrics, shall we say. And but yeah, there was something was missing on those last two albums, and yeah, this feels revitalized and fresh. They've kind of got into this thing recently where it's like very minimalistic and very floaty, and there's just stuff going on, and there's like a kind of a song crafting its way through it. This one is straightforward, and you've just got songs that aren't messing about. There's atmospherics. There's a bit of building, in terms of the song starting and building up and whatnot. But they do tend to get on with it more on this album. It's 50 minutes in length, and I couldn't believe that until I actually looked it up, because this album flies by. I thought it was about 40 minutes, if that. I thought all the songs were really short. And they do. You got 12 songs, and they just float from one to the next. It's a effortless album to listen to. It just plays itself. And yeah, with every Depeche Mode album, I suppose every Depeche Mode album, but I think in particular from Exciter onwards, I mean, if you take a look at like Ultra and then Exciter, it's completely night and day. And you think, when was Exciter? 97, and no, Ultra was 97 and Ultra was 2000, I believe. And roughly, plus a tour. I think they did a greatest hits tour in between that as well, so that might have had something to do with it. But yeah, completely night and day, two totally different albums. And from Exciter onwards, all of Depeche Mode's albums, for me at least, have sort of been very different, and you don't quite get it on first listen. They reward repeated listens, and I felt that was what the problem was with Delta Machine, and especially Exciter. I mean, that took me a couple of years to fully appreciate it. It's one of my favourite albums now. I mean, especially that's like my favourite album. On the rare occasion that I do go on holiday abroad, Exciter is an album that I have to listen to. And if you're on a beach or in a villa or by the side of a pool and you've got a quiet afternoon to yourself, you can just put the headphones on and disappear. That is the album. Sounds of the Universe as well, I found, very interesting. Yeah, interesting. Let's play it again. And yeah, certain songs, they take a few to fully reveal themselves to you. And I felt with Delta Machine and Spirit, I was just, it's going to fall into place soon. I'm going to click. And I just never did with them two. But this one, yeah, around the third or fourth time is when I was really like, yeah, this is it. We're cooking now. I've got to say, the first time I listened to it, it came through. I ordered it on Amazon, straight in the laptop, straight on the phone, downloaded onto the phone, and I work night shifts. And I'm driving on the A13 towards London, and this was just as the sun was going down. So, and it was raining, but it was like that sort of misty, where it's not just raining, but it's just in the air sort of thing. So it's not falling on you on the windscreen, but the wind wipers are still on. So it's like this kind of grey, rainy day, but we're just coming into evening. Not full on rain, but there was this beautiful sunset, and the sky was just this pink and purple. And as the angle is when you go into London, you can see the cityscape, but then you've also got this sort of industrial area, and then you've got like a bare area where it's all just fields, but you've got a couple of like little power plants and industrial little bits, and then you've got the city, and just that landscape with this pink and purple sky with the rain, with this really turned up really loud in the car. It was just a really cool experience to listen to that, especially when it comes to the opening track, The Cosmos Is Mine, which we'll get into in a sec. But yeah, that first experience, that's kind of what I've had in my mind now every time I listen to this album. And second time I listened to it, yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, quite like that one. That's a nice, interesting bit. Third and fourth time, and it was probably yesterday or maybe the day before when I woke up and I had like songs stuck in my head. So I'm thinking, yeah, right, we're arriving now. This is really good. And up until that point, I've had the album on in the background in the car, wherever, and I'm just letting it play itself. I'm just taking it all in. But it was only before I went and did this review, I listened to it again. I just put it on YouTube on the TV, and just had it there and sat on my own in the living room and just made notes. And this was the first time I listened to it, actually taking notice of the individual song, making notes of who's wrote what and whatnot. So as most people know, like Martin Gore is the prime songwriter, while Dave Gahan, since Playing the Angel, which was in 2003, I think. Since then, so Dave Gahan, after Exciter, went and did a solo album. After that, he wanted to start contributing songs. So from that album onwards, he's contributed 3, maybe 4 songs to an album. He's contributed 2 on this album, and wrote 1 with Martin, which was nice to see. And also on this one, Martin's had another songwriter come on board for 3 songs, and that's Richard Butler from the Psychedelic Furs. Apparently they've been talking about collaborating for a while, and they sent some ideas back and forth and wrote together, and I think Richard Butler is writing with Martin on 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 songs. And normally Dave, when he writes for Depeche Mode, he writes with the guys in the live band. Peter, I forget the guy's name. Bear with me 1 second. So you got the live keyboard player and the drummer, Peter Godino and Christian Igna. I hope I pronounced their names right. It's the first time I've said them out loud. Yes, he normally writes with them for the songs that he contributes. I think there's another person that he writes with as well on one song. Let's have a quick look through. Christian Igna, James Ford, who I think did a bit of production on this album, or done some drums or something, I believe. Oh, he's done quite a bit by the looks of it. Additional synths, programming, piano, guitar, bass. Yeah, so he's on it. Drums and percussion. Yeah, so he's pretty involved. James Ford and Marta Salogny. I think that is Salogny. Is that? See if he's done anything else here as well. I don't see him off the top of my thing, but I am breezing through. So yeah, additional writers basically for this one. But I think a bit of an inside-out influence, an outside influence is certainly, based on the last 2 albums, I think it's encouraged them to sort of tidy things up a little bit. But yeah, let's get into the music now. The Cosmos is Mine is this great atmospheric opener. You know, it's just like a wall of sound with some synthesizers in the background, like sort of in the background. So it sort of opens with, you know, like this sort of mistiness to it, like a feel to it, and again driving to a city in the backdrop of a sunset, you know, with the black silhouette of a city outline, kind of gave it a bit of a Blade Runner feel, if you know what I mean. And yeah, the Cosmos is Mine, and Dave is pretty much, you know, almost whispering the lyrics, and then Martin comes in with that no more chorus. Every song on this, just a quick, you only get 1 song on this album with lead vocals from Martin, but pretty much every song, Dave and Martin are harmonising, you know, and they really do click together nicely on this one. But yeah, I think play that song on a really good sound system and you really get that bass when it comes in. But yeah, really cool. It has like a sort of a film scorey feel to it, like a Hans Zimmer sort of, you know, think Blade Runner, Dune, that sort of thing. You get it. But yeah, great way to establish an atmosphere going forward. And then we've got Wagging Tongue, which opens with this cool little keyboard riff, which brings to mind sort of the first 4 albums of Depeche Mode, when they're a bit more straightforward pop and a bit more hooky. But yeah, and then when it kicks in, so it's like a boom, 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 and then you got the song melody. But then as it comes to the first chorus, and then when it comes back again to the second verse, this bass kicks in and backs the song up, and it just sounds fantastic. And it's not bass heavy, but it just gives it that ground. You know, it's weird to describe. Really nice melody towards the end as well, where a guitar lead would normally be, really, I suppose. A melodic section, there you go, after the chorus. But again, when it comes to the chorus on that song, Martin backing Dave, the two of them together, excellent. Then we got the single, Ghosts Again, which I love this song. Brilliant. You know, if you are grieving, if you've lost someone recently, everyone deals with death at some point in their life, and I just think Ghosts Again just catches that sort of melancholy, but that sort of uplifting bit when you come to the acceptance of it, if you know what I mean. When you're quite happy to think of someone, a memory of someone, and you're able to laugh at the memory, and you're able to just feel good remembering them, and not feel like how it was before. You know, you kind of go for a bit where they're the last thing you want to think about, because you're just gonna, you know, you're gonna crumble. But you're at that point of remembering them, but feeling happy remembering them. But there is a melancholy with that. It's a melancholy but uplifting song in that in that way that Depeche Mode, I think, only they can do. But a great guitar riff, a fantastic chorus, beautiful lyrics. Yeah, I love Ghosts Again, and yeah, it's a brand new song, but it feels like it's been there the whole time. It just feels, that goes up there with the classics. I can't see them not playing it from now on. I think this is going to be a mainstay in their set. Don't Say That You Love Me is kind of bluesy. It's kind of got this ironic, sarcastic take on a breakup of a relationship. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the song Breathe from Exciter. And a great last line. I've got to read this out to you. It's kind of got this back and forth. You be to this and I'll be to that. And here we go. Where is it? Yeah, like I'll be the boredom, you the desire. I'll be the cat calls and you'll be the sound of the choir. But then, so you get the secrets, the notes that you keep, the promises left on the sheets. But then, closes with this awesome lot. You'll be the killer and I'll be the corpse. You'll be the laughter and I'll be the punchline, of course. Brilliant. And I love it when, I don't know, it's just got that English sarcastic wit about it. And yeah, it's one of those songs that tells a story, basically. It's a bit of a kitchen sink drama of a failed romance, failed relationship. But yeah, got a cool sort of bluesy feel to it as well. Nice guitar and a thing in the background. Favourite Stranger rolls along quite nicely. It's nothing really I can say to sort of standing out. I can describe it. It's just, but it carries the album on nicely. It's a good song. Next up, then you've got Soul With Me. This is the soul song that has lead vocals by Martin. Normally you get 2, sometimes 3. Oh, it got to a point you get halfway through Black Celebration when you got more songs sung by Martin than you do by Dave. But yeah, Soul With Me is absolutely gorgeous. I love this song, and there's so many songs again from Exciter onwards are just these nice, peaceful songs to listen to at night when you're on your own. You know, like it's, you know, if you're sitting in a garden or sitting in just somewhere nice and tranquil on your own, and you've got these nice laid back songs. Peace from Songs of the Universe. Good Night Lovers from Exciter. There's a few songs. Actually, the second track on Exciter, what is that song called? Shine, Coles. Yeah, Shine. Yeah, just a nice, peaceful, gorgeous song with lovely melody. Again, great lyrics. Yeah, it's a cosy little number, shall we say. Caroline's Monkey was the first one where I was like, oh, I'm not sure about this one. Not sure what the lyrics are about, really. I'm sure, obviously Caroline's Monkey's a metaphor for something. But this one's got a real cool beat and a really good groove to it. I mean, when Andrew died, the sort of rumour mill and the thing the wheels started turning. There was talk of, would Alan come back into the band? And, well, once the interviews for this album got going, that got squashed. But I remember seeing an interview with Alan Wilder, and he said, I feel the band have lost their groove. That was something I would always incorporate. And Well, they've got it back on this song because this one really sort of taps and moves along nicely. And this is more predominant in a later on song, but this reminds me a little bit of Kraftwerk. In particular, the Tour de France album. Bear with me, one second. Sorry. That last Kraftwerk album, Tour de France. Especially later on in the album, there's some cool sort of more mellower sort of tracks. But again, you know what Kraftwerk are like. Like every note is there for a reason. Everything's, they're very precise in their songwriting, and just little, in the background there, and that's what's so great about the later Depeche Mode albums is that there's little, it's all there, but it's all hidden in plain sight. You have to keep listening, and little touches make themselves more apparent, and then the song makes more sense with repeated listens. Excuse me, and Caroline's Monkey was to begin with, it was the one I would have, I think I'd be happy to skip this one. And then going out, doing my different chores and bits and bobs and running around, I got in the car, plugged my phone in, and Caroline's Monkey, but it was halfway through, so it was just the music. And I actually thought it was another song. And when the lyrics come back in, I was like, oh, this is Caroline's Monkey. I was like, oh, well, I must like it then. So, the one song on there I could have lived without is actually grown on me. So, let's have I got all this right. So, Caroline's Monkey, how far are we now? Before We Drown, this is the first one that Dave solely contributed. Nice, much like Soul With Me, really. It's a nice sort of floaty, dreamy kind of song, but it's got a really good climax to it. Really good. It's like almost like strings, like orchestral, like an orchestration that sort of comes in towards the end and sort of sees the song out. It's like it's really, really great climax. And not much more really to add to that. People Are Good. Now, this is the one that really reminds me of Kraftwerk. That dum bum bum da 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 bum. And great lyrics. People are good. Keep fooling yourself that people are good. And it goes round and round like it's is this a Martin song? Because as sort of soul searching and vulnerable he can be fucking witty and really sharp when he wants to be as well. Yeah, that's just Martin as well on his own, that song. That's another one that's becoming a favourite of mine and a standout track. And first time I heard it, I was like, oh, Kraftwerk, I'm liking this. Always You, nice little love song. Just carries on the way things are, really. I really like lyrics to that one. Martin does know how to write a love song when he's in the mood. But really, really good. And Never Let You Go's got a really cool guitar riff running through it. Great beat on that one as well. Another one, really good groove, really good beat. Whoever's produced this album and whoever's got involved with, one thing you never hear with Depeche Mode, you never hear their demos. I'd love to hear the songs in the, I'd love to hear what Dave Gahan gets sent when Martin goes, right, I've written 7 or 8 songs. See what you can do with these. Before Dave sings them, records them. Like, what does he hear first? I'd love to hear those songs in the bare structure, and then you'll be able to see what the producer has contributed. How he's molded the songs into the finished products that we hear. I'd like to hear a bit more of that, actually. More demos. With Depeche Mode, you always seem to get remixes, and I could really live without them. Anyway, Never Let You Go. Great song. great beat underneath it, great guitar riff, great chorus. Yeah, it's everything you want really from a Depeche Mode song. Let's just try to read the lyrics to this one to get it back in my mind. Praise us. Yeah, we'll be the beacons shining so bright. That I've got the riff come back to me now, but yeah, awesome song. Basically, just really kicks. I'm repeating myself now. Great riff, great thing, but yeah, Never Let Me Go is great. And then we got the real treat. It's sort of the album's sort of bookended by these slow, atmospheric, soundscapey songs, and the last track, "Speak to Me," is fantastic. The beautiful synthesizers, again, very soundtracky, very, like I said, I mentioned the Blade Runner soundtrack earlier. Just this awesome floating melody, just ringing notes out. You know, you kind of see vision like this, some broad horizon or something, the cosmos, if you like, and real beautiful lyrics from Dave. And I mean, I think it might be about a conversion to. I think it's about a religious experience. That's the way I read it, anyway. But hey, you know, interpret it how you will. But and it's probably from the dark times as well. Speak to me and I'll follow. I hear you call my name. Lying on the bathroom floor, there's no one here to blame. You know, that's the opener. But yeah, and it ends with, I'm listening, I'm here now, I'm found. And then it just rings out and just gets louder and louder and louder and louder and louder. And then, boom! Like just, and as it goes higher and higher, it expands out, and then just draws itself back in. And then that's it. It's over. Brilliant. And the way that's, when you listen to The Cosmos Is Mine and then Speak to Me, two similar but different songs, but the way they bookends the album, just perfectly bringing you in and then bringing you out in this big way. And then, yeah, I love the way the sound just opens and opens and opens, and it's gone. And yeah, the best album they've done since, well, definitely since Songs of the Universe. And I'm not even a week in, but their albums grow on you over time. So if this is how I'm feeling now, then yeah. And the one song on there that I didn't think much of, I do really like now. And yeah, look, the worst track on this album is better than the best track on this one. You know, like they are well and truly back, and I hope they don't leave such a big gap. And you're looking at 5-year gaps at the best of times with Depeche Mode at the moment, because they put an album out, 2-year tour. You get your DVD of a concert at Christmas, then you get a Dave Gahan solo album. You know, I think I'd rather just another album at this point. But I'm just happy to have another album at this point, and another album to be this good from any artist that I love, really. Because yeah, you never know what's around the corner. So, and like I say, you know, if we're in a car together and Depeche Mode Spirit is the only album you've got, I'll live. You know, as I often say with my reviews, I'd love to put out an album as good as insert band here. I'd love to put out an album as good as their worst. You know, Depeche Mode on a bad day, I can live with. But I'd like to. I did check out. They're on tour at the moment as well. They do 5 songs off of this album. They open with Cosmos Is Mine and Wagging Tongue. Then right into the set, in the middle of it, they chuck in Ghosts Again. Martin does Speak to Me. No, Soul With Me on his little bit in the middle of the show. You know, when Dave goes off and then Martin does a couple of numbers. Yeah, Martin does Soul With Me on there. And then, yeah, Speak to Me. which I did watch, and yeah, it's pretty good. But I'd like to see more new material. Like they kind of got into a bit of a thing recently. Like they do like 3 or 4 songs off the new album, and they just play the hits, and they don't need to do that. They're not the Rolling Stones. People don't just have a greatest hits of Depeche Mode, and that's that. Depeche Mode's fan base is devoted. They could play the whole new album, whichever album that is, and they'll still have the audience in the palm of their hand because their audience is into it. They're into the albums. They've got them all. They know them inside out, and yeah, they could probably play a bit more. I mean, 5 songs, yeah, but there's more songs on this album that could easily be played live. Never Let Me Go jumps straight out. That could be done. People Are Good, definitely. What was the other one I'm thinking of? I said Never Let Me Go, didn't I? Before We Drown, yeah. Yeah, all of these songs, really, yeah. They could easily play another 2, make it 7 songs. When you think about how much they played off of Exciter on that tour, there was like 7 or 8 songs on that, in that set list. So, but yeah, I'm really happy with this. If this is your first viewing, welcome aboard. But yeah, this is generally rock and metal. But I'm going to start branching out now because I do listen to other stuff, and I do like my synth-led pop, whatever you want to call it. I like, Gary Newman, Wolfsheim, 80s electronic, that sort of good stuff. I like that as well, so I might start diving into that a bit more. I definitely will do a Depeche Mode retrospective at some point, so if you want to see that, put in a comment and, give me a bit of pressure to do it, and I will. In fact, someone I'd like to do it with. I'm going to approach them and see what they say. That'd be really cool if I could get them on. Someone who does better Depeche Mode reviews than I do. Let's put it that way. So, yeah, here's me reaching out to him now. I think you know who you are. But, yeah, I'd love to do a retrospective hour and a half long show going through all the albums. So, yeah, let's see what happens with that. But anyway, thank you for watching. This is definitely 8 out of 10 so far, but I think it's going to grow on me. It's good to have them back. And, yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you all soon. Take care. Take care now.